Yoruba Garcia does 7 to 12 land deals every single month, including one that just closed recently for a $35,000 assignment fee. In this episode, he shares how he reaches corporate owners and those hard-to-reach sellers with no phone numbers that most wholesalers just ignore, why direct mail gives him an edge that cold calling just can't, and the follow-up mistake that's costing a lot of wholesalers deals before they ever even realize it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the DealMachine podcast, where we tell you what's currently working in the market in terms of wholesaling, fix and flipping, and finding direct to sellers who are motivated. My name's David Lecco, and I'm your co-host. We've helped people close over 100,000 deals now with DealMachine in the last 9 years. And we've been doing this podcast together to give you guys exactly what's working today. And my co-host will tell you exactly his perspective as well.
Yeah, my name is Ryan Haywood, co-host of the DealMachine podcast, and I've been wholesaling since 2019. I've done over 500 transactions in that time period using direct mail marketing exclusively, and continued to build up my own portfolio as well as doing some flips to help grow the business.
We've got Yoruba Garcia today with us because I found him. He was actually sending over 3,000 pieces of mail last month, and they're all targeted towards the South Jersey and Philly area, where he's doing the BRRRR strategy, and he's also doing some multifamily. So I just really wanted to have Yoruba on today, not only get to know you, Yoruba, but for you guys to hear, what's working well today. So how you doing, Yoruba? Did I get that right? You sent about 3,000 pieces of mail?
Yes. How you doing, guys? Sorry the way I look. I'm renovating here. Yes, I send a lot of mail, but I do mostly my wholesaling right now on the mail side, to correct you, is for land. I send a lot of mail for land in North Carolina and in Florida. That's where I'm being very successful at. The reason why I chose mail for that is because, a lot of people, when they create a listing, they always eliminate corporate-owned properties. So me, by sending mail, I can send mail to corporate-owned properties. I don't have to eliminate a lot of the filters that a lot of people eliminate, and it gives me an advantage. And I noticed that when I send out mail, even though the response rate is lower, they are very good leads. These are people that really want to sell, and you can make very good money on the profit margins when it comes to land, because most of the people that want to sell their land, they own it for a long time. They tired of paying their taxes. So even if they sell it at double what they consider double for what they bought it for, I can sell it for like triple of what they bought it for.
You're not the first land flipper to tell us that people sell their land who've owned it for a long time, or in other words, are older people. Mm-hmm. We've actually got that age filter in there, so you can filter out your landowner's age. Over 55 was just what a recent guest told us that they do. Mm-hmm. But you're doing corporate owned specifically because you feel like a lot of people filter out corporate owned. Is that right?
Yeah, corporate owned is very good, a good one. I also, the ones that don't have phone numbers, the skip trades that do not have phone numbers, do not have emails, I'll be able to reach them with a mail. The other day I just closed this deal that it was the craziest. The person didn't have anything. I had to send her the contract through mail. She had to send me the contract back to mail. And it was so crazy to try to get that done, but I got it across the finish line, make $35,000 on that deal.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Is that pretty average for a piece of land, or what do we say would your average be?
It depends, because if it's Florida, like Central Florida areas, Lee County, Marion County, all those little counties, the margins are very small. They from like 3,000 to like 10,000. But when you go to North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, margins start to go up from like 25,000 all the way up to 100,000. It depends what you get, especially when you get in these older people that own a piece of land that is very valuable, and they own it through their whole family generation for years. and they don't even know what they have in their hands. They just know they've been paying taxes for this thing here, and they have to send their nephew every 3 months to go cut the grass, and the nephew is tired of it. Those are the good ones with good margins.
Yes, that totally makes sense. So obviously you're not just doing land, because you said you're renovating a house today. So tell us the full scope of what your business does.
Okay, how I started into wholesaling and the whole real estate stuff is because I own a construction company, and I do home remodelations. And I used to work for this flipper, and he told me, yo, but you do this all for me. You haven't think about doing it for yourself? And I said, yeah. He told me, do you have any money saved up? And I had like 30,000. I said, yeah, I got a little bit on the bank. He said, so for my next flip, you want to partner with me? And I said, yeah. So we partnered up, and we did like 3 flips together. And then I took on and started doing my own flips. Then I learned about the real estate, and when Pace Morby started doing the sub 2, that's when I really started learning about wholesaling. I had a partner, and we bought a property on sub 2 in South Jersey. And I started learning more wholesaling. We opened a wholesaling company, just doing property wholesaling, but we wasn't very successful at it because, we made some money, but we made a lot of mistakes. So then once we separated, I kept doing the wholesaling because I'm the type of person that if I start something, like, I gotta see it through. Like it kept on going through my mind, like, this cannot be it. If other people making money on it, why I can't? And I kept some of the business things, like the bank accounts and stuff like that. And I invested some money into PPL, and I started doing wholesaling again by myself. I hired 2 VA cold callers, and then I learned about the land wholesaling. And so I immediately switched into fully land. I just kept my PPL wholesaling inbound coming in, and I work on those, and I close like 1 to 2 deals on a house wholesaling every month. But on the land wholesaling, I'm closing like from 7 to 12 deals a month. Mostly are in Florida, so the profit margins of those are low. They average from 4. I like to make at least $4,000 in the deal, so they average from $4,000 to $10,000. But the North Carolina, the Tennessee, those ones are the ones that been hitting big. And that's why I do wholesaling, and I still do the construction. I still do flip here in New Jersey. I know a lot of wholesalers, and when they send me good deals that I know that I would like to get into, I just buy them and flip them.
How did you build your buyers list for your land deals?
For my land deal, just the way I just started watching. Listen, I love YouTube University, man. I started. There was a software called BuyerBridge. And I joined the software BuyerBridge, and they had like over 14,000 builders in there. I made relationships with most of the builders I could, especially on the Florida side. And then once I got that out of that system, like every wholesaler is building their own AI system. So I'm building my own AI system, and I put all my builders into my system. So now my system is able to collect the inbound leads, qualify them, send them to me so I can close the deal. And then once I get it on the contract, the AI will grab the contract, send it to the builders, and whichever builder wanna get the lead, we will send them, the AI will send them the assignment contract, and then we will open escrow. We're working on this system, and it's this system every day. We're adding more stuff. That is working very good for me.
So it's kind of running a lot of it. AI is running a lot of it for you.
Most of it. I got the cold callers because I gotta keep them so the inbound leads keep coming in. So the AI they keep feeding the AI, and the AI keep learning more and more. That's why I haven't get rid of the cold callers, because my AI do SMS also. He sends over 5,000 SMS a day.
Wow.
I believe that once we get my AI completely done, it's going to be able to make you money even if you don't know anything about wholesaling. It's going to be able to make you money.
Yeah, put it in cruise control and it's just doing deals for you.
You scrape all the foreclosures, probate, scrub every county in the United States and get you every lease updated every day, update the list by itself. Well, it does so much things, man. It's a very, very great system that I'm building. And when I wanted to build it, I'm sorry I'm talking too much, but I get so excited about this. I first hired some people on Fiverr to build it for me, but then I quickly realized that I didn't want an employee. I wanted a partner. So I joined every AI web page, web group, website that there was and started communicating with these professionals at AI. And I met these two young kids from Harvard, and I explained them what was my dream, what I wanted to do. As a matter of fact, I only met one, and we had like 2 Zoom calls. I explained them what I did in my business. I showed them the proof of the money I was making, and he was in. And the next meeting we had, he brought in a partner. And we all 3 became partners in building this system. And these kids are like, they got master degrees on AI engineering. One of them worked for Google. So what I'm building here is the real deal. It's not just the open claw AI stuff.
Your inbound callers, you still want them to answer the calls right now, right? Do you ever go in person to meet the seller?
If the seller is in my area, like if it's in New Jersey, I'd rather meet them in person. I consider myself very good at sales and talking to people. And if they in New Jersey or it's in Philadelphia, I'll go in. And because I'm like 25 minutes from Philly, I'll go myself. I walk the property. I look at everything. I'm a contractor, so I know exactly how much I need to spend in a house just by walking it one day.
Hey, have there been a bunch of extra foreclosures in Philly? Have you noticed that?
Not in Philly, here in South Jersey. In South Jersey, the houses in 2019, they were like 200,000 was like the common house, and in 3 years they doubled the price. And what happened was the high interest. A lot of people started buying these houses with high interest, and now a lot of people is losing these houses. Here in South Jersey, I've seen it more than Philly. Philly usually houses are pretty cheap. Even the new ones are pretty cheap.
I would take a look at this. I'm going to share my screen, actually. I was just using AI to look through DealMachine's data about foreclosure auctions. Mm-hmm. And what I found was that in April, the amount of foreclosures is already 1,400 scheduled auctions. So that's like quite a bit of an increase from the first 3 months of the year. Wow. And so in terms of houses, I would really take a look at that. And if you look, Philadelphia is actually the number one. Obviously they have the most because that's where the most people live, but they've also had like the biggest surge there. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So there's already 400. I don't know if targeting these auctions is ever something that you've done, but this was totally random that I had looked at this, and then you're in the Philly market. So I wanted to share that because I felt like you would want to know.
Thank you. And my AI is already scraping that data, but it just started scraping it. We started doing the scraping like 3 days ago. So I haven't really go through the whole list of all the foreclosure data. But thank you for letting me know. Now I'll focus on that for a little bit and see what I can get out of it.
Do you feel like it would be good to do land and homes? Or why not just go all in on one of those two things?
And the reason why I like land is very simple. The process is just a piece of land. Does it have water and sewer? Does it don't have water and sewer? Does it have electric on it? And it's a very easy, simple process. Houses is a little bit more complicated. You can pick one if you like one the most. But if I were to pick one, I would have picked land for myself, preferably. I do houses also because I do flips and I like to find good deals for myself, and I can always find good deals because I've been doing it already for like 3 years. So I like that. I'm a serial entrepreneur. So whenever I see a deal, I want to take the opportunity. But if I would prefer to do land. I think in land, if you know how to do it the right way, especially the way I do it with mail, with SMS, and then cold calling, you'll be very, very successful at it, like very quick. And then there's other ways you can make money with land, like subdividing land. There's a lot of ways you can make money with land, man. Even with your own friends. Like yesterday, I was talking to a friend that told me his brother bought a house with 3 acres, and when I looked at the land, that land can be subdivided like into 5 parcels. I told him, listen, your brother can subdivide and sell 5 parcels, and his house will be free. And so things like that, and that's what I love a lot about land. About house is more personal. It's more like you gotta nurture the lead and go through all those feelings, and then at the end they disappear at closing day.
Walk us through how your friends can subdivide land and make money. What did you mean by that?
Okay, so let's say you buy a house and the house is, you don't even have to be 3 acres. The house can be 1 acre, but if the zoning is high density and you have a big frontage and it's like a corner lot, that land is very subdividable. Here in New Jersey, the zoning ordinance says that you can put 5 houses per acre by right. You can do it. Like the setbacks, as long as setbacks meet the requirements, you can put 5 houses in 1 acre. So there's a lot of people that own properties that they don't even know that they can subdivide it and make money out of their own land.
Right. What is like the process of subdividing?
You have to go to the county. You got to get an architect. Even though by subdividing is something you can pencil it, really, you really don't need an architect as long as you know the measurements and stuff, and you can pencil it and you can like make a good drawing of it. You can do it yourself. You can go to the county and apply for approvals. But the best thing is to get an architect and to get a good lawyer that is knowledgeable about that county you want to work on, because it will speed up the process for you. Anytime you want to do anything with land on any county in the United States, make sure you use local people. You use local lawyers, local architects. They all know each other. They know the people at the county, and they will speed up anything you need to do when it got to do with land. But you always got to apply for approval.
What's one mistake that you made early that wholesalers listening could skip?
Oh my God, I made 100 mistakes. Not doing follow-ups. Follow-ups is the most important thing of wholesaling. Like not doing follow-ups, just keeping your leads on a bucket sitting there is moronic. And like something I did when I first did my AI system that I had them do was me being able to send the contract while I'm on the phone with the seller. Not to hang up and then send the contract. It's very important that you try to get that seller to stay on the phone and you send them the contract and you have them sign the contract while you're on the phone. Because once you hang up, they can talk to their son, to their nephew, to their neighbor, and the neighbor can tell them, no, don't sell the house to that guy. Now they cool off. By the time you send them the contract, they ghosting you. It happens a lot. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I was constantly doing. Nurturing, it's not about you buying their house and you making money. It's about you trying to help them. Like, yeah, I tell all my sellers, listen, even if you don't choose me to sell your house, anything I can help you, you can give me a call. And I can help you and I can help you beg. Like, even if you got another wholesaler offering you more than me, you want to go with him, if you want to call me and ask me and send me the contract so I can read it and make sure he's not robbing you or he's not lying to you, you can do that. So I always try to be good with people and be straight up front. I never tell them that I'm the buyer, I'm going to buy your property. I tell them the truth. Especially with land, I tell the people, listen, I buy your land to sell it to builders. So like that, they don't have that expectation. And when the contract comes and they see the assignable closure on the contract, they don't call me asking me, hey, what this assignable thing here means. They should know that before they hang up with me on the first call.
What advice would you give to somebody who's going to send their first batch of direct mail this month?
The best thing to do is you're gonna get the spreadsheet. Once you go to DealMachine got the best data. Listen, guys, if you're not on DealMachine, like DealMachine got the best data out there. Like I tried them all. I don't want to mention names because we are on this podcast, but I tried them all. DealMachine got the best data and the best filters. You're gonna filter your stuff the way you filter it. However you're gonna want it, you're gonna target your marketing. And then once you filter it, you export that file, open the file, and eliminate stuff that you don't need. If you're making the list for cold calling or making the list for SMS, make sure you only pick the ones that have heavy usage, or they have moderate usage. All the ones that have light usage or no data, eliminates all those, because even though your list is going to be smaller, it's going to be more accurate, and it's going to go to the people you want, and you're going to save money and save time. Also, when you send email, you want to send mail to the likely owner. You want to send mail to the likely owner. You don't want to send mail just crazy, just to anybody, because mail costs money, and the most you can save, the more accurate you can be with your list, the more you can save. I don't know if you guys been following me. When I send lists, sometimes I send a 95 people list, but it's a very accurate 95 people I'm sending this list to. Sometimes I send 700. Yeah. It depends of how I clean my list that the numbers is going to come up to. Sometimes I got 700 lists, and once I finish cleaning it, I only got like 300 left. And you feel like, oh my God, only 300? But send them, because those 300 are the right people.
Yep. Is there anything that I can do for you? Any additional hard to find data that maybe you would find helpful that I could maybe help track down for you?
I have something I want to tell you that I would like to see, like on the list on Florida. I would like the lots that has canal or no canal, that I can know which property is on a canal, which property is not on a canal. Something else that I have problems with, sometimes if I try to filter the zoning, like if I try to filter by zoning, I lose the whole list. And I know that sometimes it's that the data is not too accurate when it comes to the zoning, to the zoning. But if I could filter the zoning right, that would be great.
All right. So what city in Florida are you talking about?
Any city, like Cape Coral. Let's say Cape Coral. Most of the builders do not buy land that are on a canal and that do not have seawall. So if Cape Coral, Port Charlotte, Lehigh Acres.
All right. Here's Cape Coral. Look at all those canals.
Yeah, there's a lot of lots with canal, and the builders don't buy them because they got to put a seawall up, and that costs like $50,000.
Got it. Okay. All right. So one thing that we could figure out here is let's look at the zoning real quick. So land information, you have to look at like flood zone is AE, and then zoning is RW1. Mm-hmm. And so I think if you're filtering by zoning, it may be that it's just not exactly how it is in DealMachine. So if I do RW1, I get 33,000 properties, right? So if you want to, and actually, whoa, look at this, dude. You see all the properties that are orange?
Yeah. I don't see
it's the properties on the canal. So look, I picked a property on the canal. Mm-hmm. I saw that it was zoned RW-1, and then I put that zoning in RW-1, and now it's highlighting every property on the canal. So that means they obviously have a zoning for properties on the canal. And I think if you're searching the zoning and you aren't getting any results, go ahead and click a specific property that you're interested in and then see what it says for zoning and then search by that. You know what I'm saying? Because it might just be one letter off or one dash off.
Okay. That's perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll send this to you, man. If you didn't see that, that was, I think, 2 for 1. Two for one in your questions there.
Listen, your system is amazing. What you do, what you build is amazing. I want to tell everybody that if you're not in DealMachine, go get DealMachine. If you're a wholesaler and you don't have DealMachine, you're not doing it right. I'm not promoting them because they have me here. I'm promoting them because I've been using it for years and they have the best data.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. One other thing I was going to say is we have this AI analyzer. So it looks at the images. So you could pick the properties on the canal that are actually single family and built, and then say, hey, show me the ones that have signs of visible distress. So a lot of people ask that. They don't know that that's a possibility. There's an extra fee to use the AI to do that analysis, but I just thought I would mention it. And then one other thing I noticed was a lot of those zoning properties that I gave you, it looked like a lot of them are vacant lots, which is what you said you don't want, because builders have to build a seawall, right? Yeah. So anyway, you could isolate the ones that are just vacant and remove those, or just click the ones that are single family and target those. So there you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
Yoruba, thank you so much. We'll let you get back to your renovation today, because I know you got to get the renovation done so you could sell the property. So, but thank you so much for spending some time with us. And I'm going to send you some DealMachine swag as well. So look out for that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You guys have a good one. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.